And we're live.
Hello, Kathleen.
Hello, Leafy. How are you?
Good, thanks. I'm crashing your Jeff TV today. I'm on the TV.
It is the best because I'm always on my own. So when I get to do stuff with
Yay!
other people, I'm like, yay, I'm not alone.
Yay! I'm happy to help. I'm happy. We have a great topic to talk about, so I'm excited.
Very, very much so. I'm just gonna wait for the link for a moment and then just send it out to the groups and get it out
On the
on
interwebs.
Facebook, on the interwebs. But yeah, how have you been? How have you been, Tash?
Good. I'm really chatting to some people about this course specifically. It's been eye-opening and enlightening. I don't know if you feel the same way, but yeah, as a result, just catching up with a lot of people and where they're at and what they're dealing with. And I think as a result, people need to do more of your breathing exercises and more of your yoga because there's a lot of like a sense of overwhelmedness, and yeah, we just need to center and take a deep breath, which considering what we're talking about, it's quite fascinating. And how have you been? You've got lots of exciting stuff going on.
Lots going on at the moment, of course, as always. I think this trajectory is only halfway done. The end will be the wedding in May, and then I'm literally going into 3 months of full hibernation. I'm going to be a little hibernating animal this winter, and really slow down. But it's been exciting. It's probably been one of the most exciting starts to a year that I think I've had in a long time. Just really filled
Yes.
with a lot of people who are looking to live better lives and people who are
Mm.
really inspired and passionate and willing to learn. And I think that that's what makes these courses so invaluable is it gives you those little bite-sized chunks. Because even, I mean, like
Yes.
you and I and all the coaches and instructors, we're quite nerdy when it comes to things like health and fitness and wellness. So us ourselves want to spend a lot of time learning, doing courses and things, but it's
Yes,
tough to
absolutely.
fit that in. And so I love that these courses are the bite-sized chunks. We try and jam pack it with information. And I hope that everyone who did it walked away with,
I
a
know.
couple of things that can really help them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. And I mean, like we can chat about it a little bit more in detail, but I see Dom is there, and she says two of her faves. And we've got Sharon Lefkowitz is there too. Hey, Shaz, nice to see you. No, you're not late at all. We literally just got here. We
Hi,
just walked in the
Sam.
house.
Hi, Marsha. Welcome, everyone. Please say hi if you're here. And especially
Yes.
let us know if you did the course and
Yes.
how it went.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you've done the recovering from COVID course and how you found it and what did you learn, like we would love to know. And I think Kathleen and I were talking when we were developing this course, and as we were filming it, we were saying, man, there's so much that we can still cover, and there's so many more topics. So if you've got some ideas, then maybe we could do some bonus features, some bonus modules, and yeah, just keep adding to the course as we go. But yeah, I think it's been fun.
It's been absolutely incredible. Hi, Cindy. We everyone at Jeff is very, very passionate, and it's so interesting. You guys would have seen with challenges and things the collaborations that take place. And so when
Mm,
Tash and I got to work on this together, it was really fun and very exciting when you work with someone who is kind of as passionate as you about something.
yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
we were going through the topics and the modules and what are they called and what must they consist of and what's Tash going to speak about, what am I going to speak about. Obviously looking to like sticking to our strengths. And one of the
Yeah,
things that we found we really want to um, kind of bring to the course is that mix between Eastern and Western medicine
I love
and
that.
the
You said
mind.
that when we were,
Yeah,
yeah, you said that when we were developing it, and I was like, it is such a perfect explanation of how we approach this. Yeah.
and there are so many ways, and I hope that everyone here, anyone who did the course, I hope that you got that from this as well, is that
Mm,
it's not a one size fits all kind of
yeah.
thing, not at all. In fact, I think if you've seen anything
Yeah.
from this pandemic and from COVID, is
Yeah.
that everyone has had such an individual journey over the last 2 years, whether it was you that got ill or family members or friends, whatever it was, is just that you need to do what's right for you. And so,
That's right.
again, the tools and the information that we gave are coming from a lot of different perspectives and schools of thought. So,
Yeah.
hopefully, there was something for everyone.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. Like the like playing to our strengths is something that we both said, like that's what we need to do when we're developing this, and that East meets West, but it's also like science meets the mind, and the science of the mind, and then also the science of the body that meets the mind and how it influences your healing process. And I think it was so crucial in the way that we actually gave people handles to grasp onto, because I think yeah, we talk about it in the course where we say, like the reference of like everybody's in the storm, but our boats are different. That's a reference that we make a lot in the course as well. But it's not just when it comes to your emotional experience of COVID or your financial experience of this pandemic. It's actually when it comes to the physical. Some people have dealt with some very severe long-term effects,
Mm,
and others
mm,
had, like no idea that they had it or they had effects from it,
mm,
or a light experience. And there was no cookie cutter approach. Like we could not approach a recovering course with this is what you need to do, these are the steps that you need to take. So I hope that you guys got that we tried to take a really holistic approach, holistic
mm,
from every aspect of your body, every aspect of your being, but also your health and wellness journey. That there are baby steps to getting back to to what you may have had before, and or just recovering and dealing with every aspect of it. So that's the approach we took, and I'm hoping that people got to get something for everybody out of it, because there's no clear answer. We could not give a clear cookie cutter response to COVID. So yeah.
No, if only, if only. But in the end, we all are, we're all fighting our own battles, and we're fighting it together. We've actually got in a minute, we've got a little bit of a
I
special
guess.
guest joining us, but I wanted to ask you, Tash, which of the modules was your favorite module and why?
Which was my favorite? Gosh, well, your lymphatic drainage one I think was cool. I think it was awesome how we managed to tie in like the theory with the practical. I think that worked very nicely together. So that was my favorite. But I think the one that surprised me the most was probably the last one, because I knew where it would go, but I think it surprised me so much in actually chatting to Dr. Solomon, in
Mm,
tying everything that we talked about throughout the course to how important everything is to return to fitness, how important every element of your healing is before you return to fitness. And I think that surprised me, but also didn't. Like I kind of expected it, but at the same time, I think it was just really cool how it managed to pull together all these loose strings that we had. That we're like, okay, now here's the thread. There you go. So I think it was cool. And you?
I think that probably a bit cheesy for the yoga teacher, but I think that the breath work
Yeah.
is my favorite. And I
Mm,
always say to my students, we can go without water for long periods of time. We can go without food. We can go without sleep. We can't go without air. It
yeah.
is the ultimate string and thread of life force, and I think
Yeah.
that's what's been so devastating and traumatic for a lot of people,
Mm,
even having COVID and now suffering from long COVID, is
mm,
that when your breath is taken away from you, it's almost like it
mm,
takes that life force. And
mm,
so I mentioned it in the module as well, is to just take it slow. To just take it really slow when it comes to doing breath work and coming in, getting into the recovery process, is starting on your back, taking it easy, not forcing. And I think, another thing I always say is handle yourself the way you would be with a child.
Yeah.
So don't get frustrated with yourself. Don't become impatient with yourself, because that's the last thing that you actually need. You need support, and you need compassion, and you need understanding that this is a long process. And, some people who've maybe not been diagnosed with long COVID are still living with symptoms from it, whether it be taste, whether it be fatigue, whether it be anxiety, all of these kinds of things. I know a lot of people who've never had COVID are struggling with anxiety around the fact that they still haven't had it, and are they going to get it? So you are not you're not alone. We are definitely all in this together. But it is a very individual journey. So I think definitely the breath work to me is massive.
I love that. I love that. And I think because even when you and I were reading the stories of people, that what they shared, that was one of the common things, is that people were struggling with breathing, long-term effects of just trying to catch their breath and get their breath back. So I think that was very beneficial and necessary for a recovery from COVID specifically. But and then Kathleen, what surprised you the most of this course?
What surprised me most? I think the complexity of it. A lot of the other courses I think we've done are very, they're very clear. It's quite like targeted. It's quite specific. It's quite white and black. Obviously, everyone takes it up in their own way, but definitely the complexity of the work that we were trying to put together, and to try and make it accessible for everyone. Because while I was planning my modules, and even while I was teaching my modules, I don't know, I'm sure you felt the same. In your mind and in your heart, you've got this spectrum of humans who have gone from the lightest, kind of case to the most extreme case, and trying to make it something that everyone will get something from. And that just really highlighted to me again, that's one of my very strong beliefs in my teaching, is that it should be available to anyone. And as health practitioners, or whatever you want to call us, that's our responsibility and that's our role. And I think that I was surprised at how emotionally invested I became in putting this course together.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'd have to absolutely agree. I think that surprised me the absolute most is I think I was very much, me, like I'm like, okay, this is the topic, this is the theory, this is how we get the theory across. Let's just educate the people. But then when you start reading people's stories throughout, like I became emotionally invested in every single word I was saying, because I felt such an emotional weight to make sure that I re-recorded some of the sessions so many times, because I felt that emotional responsibility that, we don't want to, this is people's health journeys. We don't want to steer them in the wrong direction. We don't want to misinform. So that was the first thing. And the second thing is also to be insensitive to someone's feelings or what they went through. But at the same time, also spread love and positivity, because I think that's what you and I, like, we have the different approaches, but that's something that you and I share very deeply, is that we're all about bringing positivity and love to people through what we do. And I think that was the thing that surprised me the most, but also I actually loved it the most as well. Like, it actually became such a passion project, like you said. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've I'm not always all for the whole sorry, Jono, but the eat a spoon of cement thing. But I am, however, for the fact that we need to believe that we can do something.
Yes,
And
agreed.
sometimes when we can't, it is almost that energy of toughen up a little bit. but it's
Yeah.
more like toughen up with a lot of compassion. I
Yeah.
mean, we've got someone here like Catherine, who's in the chat here. And if any of you know Catherine's story, her health journey has been incredible over the last 2 years or couple years. And, you know, if there's anyone who knows that you have to get up in the morning and tell yourself that I can do this, it's Kath that's here in the chat. And so there is that subtle push, you know, coming from our side saying there's compassion for the situation, but you need to get yourself out of it. And we're here to help you. You need to do your breath work. You need to look at your nutrition. Those are things that you're going to have to do to pick up your vibrancy again, to get your, you know, your vitality going again, to help your body bring itself back into homeostasis, which for a lot of us can take a long time. And that becomes hard. But that's what all these accountability groups are for. That's what this community is for, is if you're struggling, reach out, but you can do it. You have that in you. So a little bit of tough love, but love being the capital.
Exactly. And we've got an example of that waiting with in the background there, of someone who exemplifies that.
100%. I think we should bring him on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hi guys.
Hey Gav. Nice to have you with us.
It feels very different being on this side of the screen.
Yeah, you get to see the behind the curtain, hey?
Yes, just a peek.
Awesome, man. So lovely to have you, Gav. And look at that. Kenny quickly put you in between the two of us. So we're making a Gavin sandwich, Kathleen.
Good place.
Cindy says hi, Gav. Hello, Iva. Coach Sean is in the house. He says hi.
Your coach is in the house.
Yep, my whole team should be here. Told him I'll be live.
Oh, the shapeshifters. That's amazing. Oh, I love it. So, Gav, I know Kathleen has a couple of things that she wanted to ask you. I think from my side, I've had the privilege / honor of watching your journey through your coach's experience and getting to see, you know, your like how you've dealt with your recovery and how you've taken on this journey. Can you share with us just quickly a little bit about what your recovery story has been, and maybe just like what's your recent things that you've been focusing on, and how maybe this course has helped you as well?
So it was nice that when you spoke about this course in bite-sized chunks, because that's actually how I got through it in the last 2 days, was just going through all of it in a day and a half. Because, you know, work life and everything the last couple of weeks has just been crazy. But I've been living with long COVID for 8 months now, since I tested positive in July last year. And I was sick for quite a while. I was in hospital for some time, and then got back on my feet, so to speak, decided to sign up for the one-on-one, got onto Sean, and then went to see my GP after having in about October. And then he took a look at me and said, you need to go for x-rays and blood tests. And that's when we discovered 4 months after I had COVID that I'm now sitting with my right lung that doesn't work, and I've got inflammation around my heart. So that sort of pretty much put a spanner in the works for everything. And that's when I found Kathleen's calm sessions. And I would never even considered meditation or breath work or anything like that. But that's what got me through it in the beginning. Was I knew that I physically couldn't walk from my room to the lounge without needing to stop down in the passage and take a breath. And then just focusing on the different breathing exercises and going through, you know, knowing what I can't do, what I can do, and just putting in the hours, putting in the time, and just doing it. That I knew that I had to get my head in the right space, and I managed to get there with a lot of hard work. It wasn't easy, but that's what got me through it, and that's why I'm sitting here today, I think.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. It blows me away because knowing your story and knowing what you've gone through, how you are still so motivated and continue to push. I mean, like you said, the shapeshifters are in the house. Like, you are one of the key reasons that the shapeshifters take gold almost every week, because you're driving them and like giving that energy and chias. And I think it's just absolutely incredibly motivational. Like Kathleen said, we've just got to do what we can do and push a little bit, one foot in front of the other, and push forward. And I just, yeah, I want to commend you for that, because I'm absolutely inspired and blown away
Thanks.
by you.
One of the biggest things I've learned is that, yes, there are days when I do feel terrible, and I woke up this morning feeling a bit rough, but I knew it was Test Me Tuesday. I just thought, oh, you know what? 50% of a workout is better than nothing. So I pushed through it, got through as much as I can at my own pace, and completed it. And that's what I chat with Sean with quite often. He says, don't try and kill yourself in one workout. If you're not feeling great, either just take a rest day, or if I'm feeling okay, then I push through and I exercise. But I've learned that just knowing what my body is like and what my limitations are now, and that, yes, as my cardiologist said to me the last week when he gave me the all clear, that my heart is now fully recovered. My lungs will still take quite a few months to recover, but he said I'm in it for the long haul, and I just got to keep putting in the time, doing the breath work, trying to get through a yoga session without face planting the floor, falling over. But yeah,
That's amazing. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, gosh, again, like, I just love hearing your story and just reading everyone's stories. I mean, Gav, you will also like agree with Kathleen and I.
Oh, yes.
I think another thing that surprised us was how people connected through this course as well, and sharing their stories and sharing support for each other. That surprised me, because I thought people would just, pop in, do the course, learn what they need to learn, and then move on. But actually, people have been so incredibly supportive of each other, and you. I think that was very special to see that as well.
And one thing I said to myself was that I did nothing wrong in getting COVID. I went to my pharmacy to pick up medicine. I wasn't out gallivanting or going out and stuff. So it wasn't my fault, and it took me a while to get over that, because you feel bad when you kind of get it. And then I made my mom sick, I made my sister sick, but I got to a point where I realized I actually didn't do anything wrong, so there's nothing wrong with it. And that's when I started to tell people, well, I had COVID, this is my story, I'm quite fine with it, I'm not going to try and hide it from anyone. I'm dealing with long COVID now, and I'm working through it.
And you're inspiring people doing that. That's absolutely amazing. Gosh.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a beautiful way to look at it, Gav. And again, just, thank you for your contributions to this community. I think for probably the entire time that we did Calm Sessions, I think I might have been live for like 30 seconds, and then your name was already there saying hi. Literally at every session, I think you were there first.
And just incredible.
Say again?
I bookmarked my calendar for that, so I knew I would block out 15 minutes a day. I wouldn't forget it.
Amazing.
That's amazing. And I actually just wanted to hear, from someone, like you said, who didn't really do meditation and breath work and that kind of stuff. We speak about the different pillars of health here at JF. It's a lot of it's fitness based, a lot of it's nutrition based, and then we have our mindfulness stuff. But when we go a little bit deeper into like our breath work and our meditation, I'd love to just hear a little bit of your insight into that, and why you would recommend those as practices for someone who is recovering from COVID.
And anyone who's had COVID will feel that, or people with bad asthma will know, and I had it as a kid, where you're trying to take a breath and it's not like you try and breathe in and there's nothing happening. You're not taking in air. As you say, like you can't, if you can't breathe, you can't live. And it's getting over that anxiety of now having a panic attack where you can't breathe, but then doing the breath work, you slowly go through the different exercises, you sit down, you close your eyes, you say, okay, if I can only count to 1 and hold my breath for 1 second, that's fine. But after a couple of weeks, you'll get to 2 seconds, you'll get to 3 seconds. I think I'm talking about the box breathing was one of my favorites. And because I could actually visualize it in my head while I'm sitting there. And I know if I'm counting to 5, I'm drawing the box with my head. And that's how I could then start to focus and then be more present as well, where I'm switching off from work for those 15 minutes. I'm de-stressing as well, which helped then everything else just sort of fall into place and just be more calmer. And then from there, my breathing definitely got better. It's still up and down. My average oxygen is only around 90% still. So I've still got quite a long way to go. But that's my new normal, if I can use that cliche. But yeah, the breath work and the yoga was one of the things that really took me by surprise. Was just stretching and opening up your chest, your lungs, and then just having a little bit of extra flexibility. Suddenly I can actually feel now when I'm breathing, it's not just my chest and shallow breaths, it's now going through my diaphragm. So, and even with about 1.5 lungs now, I'm still taking in more air than I would have been if I wasn't doing this. So if I didn't know about this, I would have just been laying there thinking, okay, well, it's going to take me as long as it takes me, not knowing that there's things like yoga that I can do, which will help me strengthen up not only my core from a fitness perspective, but just also getting my chest and that stronger, that I can, those muscles around my chest and my heart and that and then I can actually breathe better. So that was also quite a big eye opener and a steep learning curve for me. But yeah, it's something that I'm now hooked on for life.
Amazing. Love that.
That makes me so happy. I'm just like smiling and dancing on the side, because it's incredible. It's really incredible. It's why I do what I do. It's why I share this work, because I know that it changes people's lives. And just another little thought on that is, when a lot of us, I mean, I've had COVID as well. I was in I count myself lucky, but I was very sick for 5 days. And what happens is we actually, because we stop moving, everything stops moving and everything becomes tighter, and you end up just lying in your bed and your body closes down and things start to shut down. So it is so important, even if it's just lying on your back, opening up the arms, opening up the legs, and just breathing, allowing your chest to expand, allowing some space through your body, and stretching open the body needs to stretch. I always say, if you look at any animal when they get up from a nap, the first thing they do is they take like the biggest stretches. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to get up first thing in the morning and stretch open our body and take a few deep breaths. So I love that insight, Gavin. Thank you so much for sharing that.
That's amazing. And I think I saw your coaches in the comments here too. And he said, Coach Sean said, mate, you are the perfect example of what dedication and determination looks like. You've come such a long way, and it's all the result of your consistent commitment, a proper inspiration. And I agree. I think so many of us would say that, your commitment and your dedication and consistency is inspiring. And I think that, this is why Kathleen and I wanted to bring you up, not only because you are like the stellar example of putting the lessons learned in how to recover from COVID, especially with the symptoms that you're experiencing, but also because you inspire so many other people that are on this road of recovery. And
that's the power of this community, is that I wouldn't be sitting here without the community. So, I have to put it right back to everyone out there. They're just as inspiring and supportive as what I'm trying to be. So yeah, I think we're all in this together.
Love that.
That's a beautiful note to end the session on, because we basically at 6:00. We are all in this together, and even though we're on individual journeys, we are a community. And thank you again. Thank you, Tash, for all your love and effort and hard work that you poured into this course. Thank you, Gavin, for sharing and always being willing to share and step in and comment and help, and just your energy. And thank you to everyone who's here. We are here. The course, of course, is now the course, of course. The course, of course, is now available on Club. So if you are doing it and you've got any questions, you can pop either Tash or myself a DM. We'd really be happy to help. There is also the COVID WhatsApp group. So if you are not sure about that and you want to join it, we will post the links in the comments so that you can join in on that group, where it's obviously very COVID-focused conversations.
Yeah.
And that's us, I think.
And also feel free to use the group on Club as well. Post comments on the thread there, and because what's nice about that is that the answers to the questions live on in the course for people that want to do the course in months to come, or need to do the course in months to come. So yeah, so feel free to do that as well, because that helps. That's my dog.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Ivor. Thanks, Julie, Cindy, Catherine, everyone for joining. I will see you all for yoga at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I'll be there.
See you there.
Ciao.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.